Alright guys, welcome to another World Cup team preview series, and in today's episode we are going to be talking about Japan. Yes, Nihon. Sorry, that's a bad accent. Yeah, we're going to be talking about Japan for this World Cup team preview series. Now, if you like this sort of World Cup team preview series content, why not hit the like button and subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell so that you don't miss any of these World Cup team preview videos that are coming out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Oh, different order. Without further ado, let's get on with the episode. So Japan are part of the AFC or the Asian Confederation when it comes to these sort of World Cup qualifying campaigns, and the nickname of the team is Samurai Blue. Obviously, samurai is a part of Japanese culture, being quite stealth and deadly, and obviously the color blue is quite resemblant in the sort of colors of their home shirt, which they wear blue. So, you can call them like quite stealthy, quite dangerous type of team. I think that's Samurai Blue is probably one of my favorite nicknames for a national team that in this World Cup. And a fun fact for you about Japan is that Japan have reached the knockout stage the most times out of any Asian team ever. They've made obviously 6 previous appearances at the World Cup. You know how many times they reached the knockout stage? 50% of it. 3 round of 16 appearances for Japan. Unfortunately, they were unsuccessful in those knockout stage games. Obviously, we all remember that 2018 one, when Japan were 2-0 ahead against Belgium to then fumble it and lose 3-2. Obviously, Japan are hopeful that they are able to finally overcome not just the knockout stage, but really go forward in terms of the Asian teams at this World Cup. Of course, this is a World Cup in Asia, so Japan could be used to this sort of tournament way that is played during sort of winter months of the Northern Hemisphere year. And so yeah, Japan have made 6 previous appearances at the World Cup, and this will be their 7th appearance at the World Cup. So let's see how they did in terms of qualifying for this World Cup. So Japan were in the final round of World Cup qualifying. They obviously competed in the previous second round of World Cup qualifying, but they easily breezed through their group. They had Mongolia, they had Myanmar, they have Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan, countries you probably would never think would ever compete in a World Cup. Yep, they breezed through that group. And then when they came to the final round of World Cup qualifying in Asia, Japan were in a quite difficult group that contained the likes of Saudi Arabia, Australia, both teams. So actually we had 3 teams that played in the last World Cup in the same group, for only competing for 2 automatic spots. Alongside that, they also had Oman and China, People's Republic of China, and Vietnam. And Japan started off their World Cup qualifying campaign of the final round against Oman at home, and they lost 1-0. And then after that, Japan were like, oh man, we have to get our shit together, and so they did. Japan went unbeaten for the next 9 games, or the remaining games of the final round, in which they were able to accrue a lot of wins and a lot of points, in which they will ultimately finish in 2nd place in Group B. Doesn't matter if you finish 1st or 2nd, as long as you've qualified in the top 2 position, you qualify for the World Cup automatically, and that's what Japan did. They qualified automatically for this upcoming World Cup, only just a point behind Saudi Arabia and a lot more points above the team that finished 3rd, Australia, who eventually, we talked about earlier, qualified for the World Cup as well. So the head coach of the Japan team, or the manager, is Hajime Mariyasu. I hope I got that one right. And obviously he is a Japanese coach who actually came in after Akira Nishino back in the 2018 World Cup. After that World Cup ended, Moriyasu came in as the new head coach of Japan. And so Moriyasu is in charge of some of these star players that you may have heard of from time to time. Obviously, Liverpool fans remember this guy, Takumi Minamino, he's one of the star players. Alongside him, you also have Kyogo Furuhashi. You have Genki Hawaguchi, who did score against Belgium in that World Cup match. And then you also have Takeo Tomiyasu, who we all know plays for Arsenal. And also you have one of Real Madrid's sort of star players before, obviously now plays for Real Sociedad, Takefusa Kubo. So these are some of the star players that Japan have in their ranks and hopefully can propel them to a historic, hopefully quarterfinal or even semi-final run at this World Cup. Let's see how they play. So the way that Japan usually likes to play is in a 4-3-3 formation, in which Japan are more known for the sort of passing ability, the technical skill, rather than the sort of height. So you don't really get a lot of long balls that are then headed in and scored. Usually you get goals that are quite, pass, and then shoot when it is optimal or in close range, obviously. And so that's the sort of formation and sort of style of play that Japan likes to play at. And so one of the strengths are obviously that sort of technical play. It is quite instilled in this Japanese team to be a very pass type of team. Someone that can suffocate the opposition in terms of the passing and finding spaces. So their technical play is one of the strengths of this Japanese team. Another one of that is obviously their attacking threat. Now, they are probably a lot more clinical than some other teams that do have this sort of, pass technical play formation. And Japan, in terms of playing in the Asian qualifiers, are probably the best team in terms of their attacking output. And so that means that Japan are known for scoring goals a lot more than conceding. However, some of the weaknesses are the counter-attacking style. Because they play in a very much more possession-based technical play sort of skill, Japan aren't really set up for this sort of counter-attacking style, whereby they allow the opposition to practically play how Japan would play, pass, wherever, and finding space. So Japan aren't really used to this sort of counter-attacking style that some other teams might use at this World Cup, especially the teams that they have in their group. So that might be a weakness in which they are not able to, cope with this sort of style or sort of structure that they may have to play counter-attacking football instead of their sort of, technical play. Another weakness is the defensive solidity. Now, obviously, playing against Asian teams, a lot more weaker than them, even if they made that final round, they are good defensively, but when it comes to the sort of big teams, especially at World Cups, Japan aren't really known for keeping a lot of clean sheets. Japan didn't actually keep a clean sheet at the last World Cup. I think they conceded like 7 goals in just 4 games at that last World Cup. So Japan would really have to hope that they can sort of build up their defensive solidity so that they won't, concede a lot of goals, even if they're trying to play either, hopefully a technical play sort of style, or if they have to resort to it, a counter-attacking type of play when it comes to their opponents in their group. And so Japan are drawn into Group E. That's right, Group E for this World Cup. And with that, they're actually in one of the more tougher groups in which their sort of style of play will be really tested against some very good opposition. They begin their campaign on Wednesday, the 23rd of November, 4 p.m. local time in Qatar, and they'll be playing against Germany. And then after that, on Sunday, the 27th of November, the first game of that day, 1 p.m. local time, Japan will be hoping to pick up some points against Costa Rica. And then Japan wrap up their group in probably one of the more interesting sort of matchups. They'll be up against Spain on Thursday, the 1st of December, 10 p.m. local time in Qatar. And hopefully by then, Japan are into the next round by the end of that game against Spain. Will they do it? Well, time will tell. So that's it for this World Cup team preview series on Japan. Now, if you like these sort of videos, why not hit the like button and subscribe to the channel? And also ring the notification bell so that you don't miss any of these World Cup team preview updates that are coming up on this channel. We're practically, in a way, halfway through this sort of series. And so, the next episode, which will be on Monday, the 10th of October, so 10/10, TENDEITEM, subscribe to the channel, I'll be talking about Mexico. That's right, I'll be talking about Mexico in the next episode of this World Cup team preview series. And, I'll be uploading videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for this World Cup team preview series. And until then, I'll see you guys in the next one.